Okay, I'll get back to some of the comic ones next month. I'm going to try to see if I can do 3 to 4 comic ones next month. So, briefly, I will do that triple header, the uh, Dark Side, Thanos, Anti-Monitor, Imperiex, Onslaught, Galactus, Unicron. I might try to squeeze in a 4th one as well. But this week, to finish this out, I'm going to look at Beth Phoenix versus Chyna, the 9th one of the world versus the Glamazon. As always, this is my wrestling ones that we got the breakdown like this. Now, if you don't remember Chyna was very, very, very popular in the late 80s, early Aughties, well, late 90s, early Aughties, because I refer to it as. And she was actually one of the more popular wrestlers. I still remember seeing the trucks as they drove around, and it would be like Rock, Austin, Chyna. Definitely broke the mold when it came to women's wrestlers. Definitely did. Definitely. Her impact is still being felt today. Why is she not in the Hall of Fame? Just Google her and you'll find out. Just read a Wikipedia page and you'll know why the E has an issue trying to enter the Hall of Fame. Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon, she really hit her stride kind of in the middle of the Divas era, which effectively hurt her in the long run. She lost matches to Kelly Kelly. She was used as a alternate relation with Santina Marella in a comedic role. Flip back, Chyna had the really great thing with Eddie Guerrero, and she was Mamacita. For Latino heat, I'm Anglos, I can't do any of that and make it look smooth at all. So they had a lot of similarities. As you can tell, both have black leatherette with spikes. Both were champions. Both should have actually held the belts for longer periods of time. Both didn't physically match up very well with a lot of the people that were during their time frame. Yes, Beth Phoenix should have faced Natalya at WrestleMania. It should have been an amazing match, but it never happened. At the time, Natalya had a farting gimmick. So, as always, I do this through. You might notice I've already blacked out high flying and mic work. Predominantly because neither one of them really did high flying. I mean, that really wasn't their standard moveset. And for mic work, again, when Chyna was first brought in, she was the muscle for DX. She was the muscle for Triple H. Later, muscle for DX. Didn't really have that much in the way of mic time. Beth Phoenix, during the era where women were there to talk, women were there to look, and to not really talk. So, I blocked those two out because it'd be difficult to try to go, well, they've never really got the opportunity to do that much in the way of actual mic work, and they didn't really leave their feet very often. So we'll begin with strength. I'll probably hear it for this one. Beth Phoenix, build at, I think, 5'7", 150. So, strong woman. Chyna, depending on era, was billed at 6 foot and 200 or 5'10 and 180. So either way, at the lower end, she's billed 3 inches taller, 30 pounds heavier. She is a large, powerful, hulking woman. Don't type in Chyna She-Hulk. Don't. Speed. I like to give the speed advantage to Beth Phoenix, because if nothing else, when Chyna wrestled, it was her power game. She didn't have a tremendous amount of speed. She didn't need to. She was the female juggernaut. Big, strong. She just got a hold of you and then manipulated your body to get a victory. Beth Phoenix, during her time, it was smaller women. It was your pre-enhancement Nikki, your Brie Bellas, your Kelly Kellys, Layla's, Michelle McCool's. So they're people who were just naturally fast. So she actually had to be a little bit on the quicker side. Plus, she's not as large as Chyna. Endurance. I'll give this to Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix during her time in Shimmer actually had really long matches. Shimmer is known for giving their women ample amounts of time to actually produce a very, very well-crafted match. Where Chyna never really had that luxury, whether either during her time in TNA, WWF, or in New Japan. She really wasn't given the opportunity to do multiple longer matches. I will give her that in toughness, though. She did actually participate in hardcore matches with the E. And she was shown to numerous times be able to directly hang with male competitors. Because let's be honest, if she was a true 6 foot 200 pounder, that made her bigger than a lot of the men. Striking. I'm going to give this one to Chyna. Both of them have had the standard set of brawling techniques, but Chyna also threw in the back handspring elbow. So I was like, I'll give her that because she actually had slightly more variations when it came to striking. They still had punch, they still had kicks, they still worked a similar style like that, more brawler. But she definitely had that back handspring elbow is tremendously enough to give her a slight edge when it comes to the striking aspect. Grappling, this goes to the Beth Phoenix forte. She actually used a lot more grappling moves. She actually used suplexes. She actually used variations on DDTs, Canadian backbreakers. And again, that's basis more that she's a professional wrestler throughout the majority of her career, where Chyna was actually a bodybuilder. Yes, I'm aware that Chyna actually did a wicked powerbomb. Nothing against Chyna. I think that she was a powerful individual. Watching her flat out destroy somebody in the ring, it made sense. She was a female Brock Lesnar. Submissions. Yeah, I'm gonna give the submission edge to Chyna. Chyna had a bear hug that was vicious because she ragdolled people. She was big in terms of when she got you in that bear hug, it didn't matter. You were going where she wanted you to go and your body was whipped to and fro. Even though Beth Phoenix did for all, he's Dragon Sleeper, and it's an impressive looking move, watching Chyna ragdoll men and women was undeniably impressive. Over with the crowd. Keeping score at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 to 5. Ring psychology over with the crowd. Well, I'll probably hear it from this one, but Chyna was stupid over with the crowd. She was remarkably over. Seeing her come out, I think it was one of the WrestleManias where she destroyed Ivory. She came out with like the bazooka and blasted off the bazooka. I mean, the crowd, she was a true wonder. When people sit back and they go, Great Khali or Big Show, they suck, they're not great. When you see them in person, the awe factor is huge. Having seen Chyna wrestle, you're like, whoa, she's massive. She had that, whoa, she's gonna kill somebody factor. And the crowd dug that. They dug her journey. Very, very good when it came to that aspect. Ring psychology. Yeah, I'll give ring psychology to Beth Phoenix. Looking back at a lot of Chyna's matches, she was just dominant. So she didn't really have to use a lot of ring psychology. She did play to the crowd, but I think that was more to her over with the crowd aspect than anything else. Where Beth Phoenix, and she lost lots of matches to much smaller opponents. There might be like 1, 2, 3. What? She always had that. She seemed to emote just a little bit better. When she was on the receiving end of a loss, it was apparent. She seemed to do a better job with the in-the-ring aspect. But, of course, looking at this, it still means that Chyna versus Beth Phoenix, Chyna takes it. I think if you look at the fact that she was just a physically larger character who truly did have that persona that was it was a larger-than-life persona, because when you looked at her, calling the ninth wonder of the world was a legitimate statement. She was this big, powerful woman during an era where there really weren't a lot of big, powerful women. And you can look at that era, and you see Chyna, you see Asia, you kind of see Nicole Bass. You see that there was this group of women that existed all at the exact same time that really got a big push thanks to someone like Chyna. And then, of course, extrapolating out farther, you do have your larger power women now. That's where you have your Kongs, and in some ways your Sarah Del Rey's. You've got larger, physically imposing women, and she's the template for it. She is here's a large, bodybuilding, physically dominant and imposing force. You can now look at any woman who's the larger, physically just... There's only been one Chyna. Often imitated, never duplicated. There's always been one Chyna. And she broke a mold and then created another mold. And I think that she's truly probably one of the unsung heroes of women's professional wrestling.